What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, the one and only Almighty Anon, joined today by the radical Red Mog. Say what's up, Red Mog.
What's up, Kupo? How we doing today?
Bringing you episode 2 to What FM. Today's topic, we're going to be going over Payday. Specifically, we're going to be talking a lot about Payday 3, but we're going to refer back to a lot of our, experiences with the previous game and whatnot. I don't know about you, but Payday 2, I never touched Payday 1. I have no idea what it was like.
No clue at all about Payday 1. I was all about Payday 2. I remember it was on the PlayStation 3, I think.
Yep, it was the only game I had on the PS3.
And I remember I played it a couple times, but as a solo player, I was like, it's whatever. But the few times I've played it with people,
it's so much fun.
That's a whole different game when you have, people. You can play solo, whatever, do your cool things, do your stealth. Whatever, try and go for the secret mission. I know my other buddies are doing that right now. He's talking all about it. And I just remember the horrors of trying to do it with him. Because he wanted to do so many missions stealth. And there's some missions that are fucking hard to do without stealth. Or with stealth, let me tell you. Ugh. I might actually give it out a little bit for you.
Sorry about the little bit of a rough cut there. I'll probably edit it out.
We're shit.
I forgot to turn off the AC. That's what that background noise was. And it's going to get hot. So
hot as dick.
The first thing I wanted to bring up about Payday 3, because you actually brought up something that I know nothing about. What is this grave scene that you were talking about?
So, I don't know if it's a fan scene. I don't know. But it's an animation where all the guys are gathered up, right? And you still have, all the guys are gathered up around a grave, and they're all throwing their masks in. Okay. It's like they did their last job, so that everyone's throwing their masks in. But, it's the guy with the clown mask, the main guy. I always forget his name.
Dallas.
I'm never good with the names in this game, I'll be honest. I'm just like, it's this mask. Fucking... Dallas is the only one standing there with his mask still on, holding the umbrella, like he's the last one standing at the grave. He never takes his mask off or whatever. It's a cool little thing. I'll probably have to show you here after, or remind me or something.
Alright, we can take a look after the fact. Did you get around to watching the reveal trailer at any point?
I've seen bits and pieces. I don't remember if I saw the whole thing or not, though. I do remember, though, it was pretty fucking exciting, and it was a lot of the stuff what I think is a good Payday game, so I can always appreciate that. So I'm very excited to see what they do with it, because I'm pretty sure the secret ending does kind of lead off to a third thing, because you get one of them to be the president or some shit. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember the last heist is you're in the White House and you're trying to either get somebody to be the president or you're stealing the Declaration of Independence.
All right, Nick Cage. I love that we're doing this podcast and neither of us are super knowledgeable about Payday in the first place. Because don't get me wrong, I put in a lot of hours on it. I got Payday 2 right here, actually. It carried over from PS3 days. I have 80 hours. Still, could not tell you very much about it. I just liked the shooty bang bang aspect of it.
Shooty bang bang, do cool heists.
Yeah.
Some of the heists later on, though.
Saving Santa Clauses in the forest and shit like that. It was an interesting game. Oh, fuck, I might want to turn that before some music starts playing. There we go. I watched literally the entire trailer frame for frame because I was going to do an analysis video on it, and by the time I got everything kind of compiled and everything, the hype was all gone, and I wasn't really feeling like doing the video at that point, so I was like, you know what? It'll be okay.
We'll be fine without it.
Yeah, so, and then that was when I immediately after, because I was sitting here at my desk when I was making that decision, and immediately after I was like, whatever. I turned around and I started working on the Unordinary video that got 80 views, so I mean, it was worth it. It was worth the turnaround.
It was very valid, though. Dude, I'm still excited about Unordinary. I'm ready for more of that.
Oh yeah, we got chapters 6 through 15 coming out on Monday. It's going to be a bit of a bigger episode part. So I'm looking forward to that coming out and seeing how well it does with a shorter time frame.
Because I liked Tower of God. I liked Tower of God a lot. I only saw the animated shit, and it was very good.
I am planning See, I've read 60 chapters for Tower of God, and I'm loosely following what's going on. And I'm not talking like I skimmed through them. Like, I'm rereading chapters because I'm not understanding, because the English is so broken.
Yeah, the story feels weird, but, like, I think, for me, it was more like, I liked the whole lead up. Have you got to the plot twist of that show yet, or not really?
I'm not sure. Here, you know what, we'll pick up that conversation after the podcast. Let's get back to Payday, my bad.
Let's get it started.
But I watched every like, frame of this trailer, and don't get me wrong, I'm excited for it, but as a relatively decently big Payday fan, I'm kind of let down by it.
Yeah?
It's interesting, but if anything, it looks like they basically did a console port of Payday 2. The graphics aren't much better. They're better. They're not much better, though. It has this weird greenish hue over the whole screen. The gunplay doesn't look much better.
It looks like Twilight, but of green.
Right. You know, there is some cool new features, like, you know, taking hostage and throwing your hostages instead of having to do the whole
Get
slow
up, follow
letdown.
me, sit down.
Yep. The command feature to turn over security guards and everything, and that was a feature in the last game, but it was kind of ineffective.
Some of the features felt unnecessary. Like, if you had a crew or whatever, and you started playing on harder difficulties, like you weren't gonna have a chance to get a hostage and get your buddy back. It felt like if you got locked away, it was, what the fuck are you doing? And we had to restart type shit. Or especially if you wanted to do a lot of the stealth mission, like stealth shit.
Yeah, stealth in that game was rough. I hope that's something they've polished up on a bit.
You could do it, but you had to just have the gear for it.
And even then, it was still rough. You could be fully maxed out for it. I will say one inconsistency I noticed in the trailer is that, well, there's two, sorry. There's that really cool, not opening scene, but immediately after the opening scene, where we're in the security cam perspective and we watch Dallas take out his phone and blow up the security camera. Kind of following me here?
Vaguely, yeah.
It switches from the security camera point of view to Dallas right before the camera blows up. Dallas, it then cuts over to another person's perspective. I think it was Chains, where he's putting on his mask. And then, in a weird way, so, like, Dallas is in the center, Chains is in the far front right, then it moves back in between the two of them to, I think it was Wolf, who, you know, they do this quick little segment where all four of them put their masks on. Right. When it goes to the person that's between Dallas and Chains, though, Chains just isn't there. Like, it's all second to second, like, blink and you'll miss it scenes.
But it's still like one little thing. No, I get that.
And then,
I noticed something about, sorry, this is just animation thing in general. Little mistakes like that aren't noticed very often, but when they are noticed, it's insane that it happens like that. What I always like to point back to, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so many times does, like, two turtles have the same color bandana in one scene, and then it's, you know, whatever.
Fixed in the
or,
next.
Like, they're swapped positions. In games, when characters' animations, like, clip through themselves. Overwatch 2, Kiriko had her base skin, and then she had her one epic skin on release. While she was holding her papers, her fingers would clip through the papers. And somebody pointed that out to me early, and I was like, that makes that skin an F tier. Automatically. Just because, like, that little animation thing. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
No,
but,
completely
like,
understandable.
I feel like some companies are at such a big such a big level that, like, little mistakes like that. It's like, oh,
it's like, what are you doing?
Mistakes happen. Yes, they do happen. I'm willing to accept that. But there's also some mistakes that, like, shouldn't be acceptable.
Right. I mean, that's in the forefront. But the other issue that I noticed, and this is more of a continuity thing, when it gives us the little show-off scene where Hoxton takes a hostage and he throws him outside to, do the exchange thing, all 4 of the crew members are there.
So what's the exchange for?
I have no idea. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, they're finding a cool way to, show off these different features, and I can understand that. And probably not a lot of people noticed it off-rip, but when you watch something frame for frame, you notice a lot of shit.
You do. And that's why I don't tend to watch things frame by frame. I can usually catch a lot of things just by watching it at base speed, and that's just from my experience of being like an Overwatch coach, is being able to watch those things on time. But so when I'm watching trailers and like that, I'm watching it like at the same speed, and then I see goofy mistakes. I'm like, I don't want to watch it frame by frame because I don't want to know what else is there until somebody tells me. That is more joyous to find out. It's funny, but if I'm like studying something and I find out like, it's this, and I'm just being a nitpick at that point, I'm 1, going to disinterest myself from the game, and 2, probably like not say it's good or some shit like that.
I don't know. To me, it's fascinating just because I like that perspective of being like, like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of him pointing at the TV. I'm like, thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's always valid.
Oh, fuck. It was, overall, it was a great trailer, and they did deliver what they intended to. They gave us a release date, they gave us different expectations and what all we could see and everything. It showed off a good amount of features. It's just, I was personally a bit let down by it.
As a consumer, I will say lately that there is not a lot of what I would feel a safety net for us. So like, I'm not thinking of the word right now, but as a consumer, there isn't a lot of things that will consistently make me feel good. So like, yes, you can show me little nitpicks and stuff like that, but I know you're only showing me the good stuff because that's what you're supposed to do. You're only showing me the really good stuff. You're not showing me a wider view. And without seeing that wider view, granted it's still a bit early and whatnot, I still don't feel that like safety as a consumer investing too much interest in something. It's I don't know. There's just not a lot of things in general. Doesn't matter what game you're talking about. There doesn't feel like a lot of safety as a consumer these days.
No, I get that. When you think of Payday, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, main big forefront idea, first thing that comes to anybody who's played its mind is heisting.
Heist.
Right.
If you're gonna ask me, what's one mission you can think of
it's
for
a bank.
Payday? Bank heist.
Absolutely. I mean, there's the generic one that they gave us basically a reskin of in the trailer. What is, in your opinion, the next biggest thing that you can think of?
See, as a Payday player, I didn't understand some of the missions. Because first you would start out like with a bank heist or whatever, or a jewelry store. But then one of the missions would be destroy a mall. I'm now confused. I don't understand what destroying the mall does for us. But in general, when I think of Payday and I think of really good heists, I'm always a fan of a bank heist. That's always been my personal favorite. It's, the beginner's love. But then I always think of the next heist, and it's always stealing the cars.
Oh my god!
Always the one.
I hated that mission. I loved it, but I hated it.
I loved it and hated it, and that's because it offered a cool. It was the driveway. It was the drive away.
For me, it was the stealthing up until. I have never, to this day, been able to fully stealth up to the moment where you steal the cars.
I have, and let me tell you, we were max level. We were max level, there was 4 of us, and we were getting pissed off because somebody in the group couldn't figure out which computer to hack ever. Granted, it changed, but he would take so fucking long, and at that point I'm like, okay, I'm already for me, stealth missions were you do your part and then you get out of the building. That way you are off any cameras, no guards see you, and you let the other person finish their shit. Granted, if you're one guy, you have to stay in there the whole time. But if you're a group and people are leveled for certain things, once you do your job, get the fuck out of the building and stay the fuck out of the way. Because so many times I would be in my part, sorry, a guard saw me and I had to shoot him, and we'd already be out of walkie-talkies or body bags or like... Granted, that's also poor pre-planning, but in general, why are you in the middle of the building? You have no job. You've already done your job. Get the fuck out.
Right.
Wait until the keys need to be stolen. It was the driving part that always got me.
Oh, the driving was atrocious.
Once I learned it, it was fine, but like learning it was. But I liked it. It was cool. It made me feel like a badass, and every aspect was like. For me, stealing that car, it really felt like the wind was in my hair. As if I had the windows down, radio blast, and like I'm gone. It was cool, and
it was a good note. I'm not going to discredit you. It was a good note to make. It was not the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, I know it wasn't.
The next biggest feature, in my opinion, is the game's scale for customization. Whether it's weapons or your masks and everything.
Sorry, I thought you were asking me which heist I like.
Oh, no.
And when the customization, yes, I loved it. However, I didn't like much of it.
There wasn't much of it.
There wasn't
That's the
much
funny thing.
Of it,
There's the main feature of the heists, and then the next biggest feature is not even a big feature. You have a lot of options.
It felt like you had a lot of cash, but then you had no money at the same time.
Right.
Which
you
was confusing.
spent $44,000 on a suppressor, that like the first suppressor you could get.
But you had to roll it in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff you had to get in the cards, and I didn't really like the cards because
I like the cards as a bonus.
It was
at the end of a mission,
as
yeah,
a bonus,
for sure.
But some of the attachments would be like behind the cards, you know,
mm-hmm.
or like you had to pay like you had to. It was like you got. When you prestige, or when you leveled up to 100 and you prestiged, you could unlock any gun permanently or something like that. And that was like, because there's so many guns.
Right.
And I'm going to be honest, I really didn't use that many. You know what guns I used consistently? The compound bow, because it was quiet. I did, for the melee weapons, the little pike things.
I would stick with, it was either the taser or, I think it was like a karambit or some shit.
Yeah, I remember the karambit, little curved knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a karambit.
I'm hoping with this game, because if you noticed in the trailer, they're not just all wearing suits anymore. You know, granted, there was a few oddballs in Payday 2, like Sangris, who I played as, who wore his little Hawaiian shirt and shit like that. But they're wearing, like, we saw one dude in a blue trench coat. That was Hoxton. We saw Chains was wearing a black, like, suit jacket with the sleeves pulled up and shit.
So are you saying that there might, like, are you assuming there might be more dress wear for the,
yes.
Not just mass customability, but no,
I strongly believe that they're going to have different outfits, whether it's customizable outfits, I don't know. But I think there will be different outfits. I think mask customization will be refined. And I think weapon customization will be refined.
God, I could re-download Payday, and I would have fucking one mask. I had the same goddamn mask. I think it was like a goat devil mask, I'm pretty sure. I might have changed it, but I'm very sure towards the end, but I'm pretty sure I stuck with that consistently. I don't remember who I played, but I think I changed it to, I think there's a ginger guy with a like
I don't remember, I'll be honest.
I really couldn't tell you because I didn't care too much about the customization at the time. Like
there wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
I was like, boop, boop, whatever. And then guns. I really didn't like many of the guns still. Some of them were fun, like the minigun. Like, there's an achievement. I don't remember if it was stealth any mission or if it was a certain mission, but it was stealth a mission with the RPG and the minigun.
That sounds like Payday.
And it was really fun to do.
So we've both played COD Zombies. Absolutely. You know that the zombie mechanic works as if you're playing alone, there's a zombie count. If you're playing with 2 people, it shares the same as one person's zombie count. If you're playing with 3 people, 3 and 4 people have the same zombie count, but they have their own separate count from 1 and 2.
I do remember hearing that if you were in groups of 3 and 4, or I do remember playing in like Black Ops 2, playing with 3 or 4 people, we always got 1 or 2 extra zombies on round 1. There was always extra zombies.
It built a lot more.
And I don't remember how much it built, because I don't remember playing zombies a lot with just one person. I had like 4 people I consistently played zombies with back in the day. And so yeah, it was...
Bring up your volume a little bit there, but
nah.
Levelator will help, but it will only help so much. I'm hoping, and I think it would be a very viable mechanic for a game like this, that they do something similar. If you're playing with 1 or 2 people, there's only going to get so many. If you're playing with 3 or 4 people total, then they're going to get more enemies. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't remember if that was that mechanic in 2. I really don't think... It didn't really feel like it.
I think it was a difficulty. I think easy did different types depending on how many people you had. Normal did different... Not types, but like how much health and how much damage they had.
We cranked the difficulty to hard and nightmare consistently because we were stealthing the missions.
Right.
So we were just like, yeah, get the big money boost, get the big XP boost, and it worked out for us really well. Yeah. With more people, I love to see not just more enemies, but different types of enemies. Like, everyone knows that.
Yeah, oh my god.
Everyone nightmares, and there's nothing you can do about it but get Fortnite dance California girls, like Californication, gettable, whatever.
Honestly, until this recent time playing with Xeno, I did not remember them being that much of an issue. And then when Xeno and I started playing, it was every time we heard it, it was panic. Pure, unadulterated panic.
Let me tell you, on nightmare difficulty, it's awful. You have to just as you're unloading a clip, he is unbothered, beating the shit out of your teammate.
Yeah.
And it's awful. It's just, he's not even hitting me, and I'm scared. No, I think as bad as those were, I think I don't remember if I carried a shotgun or what I carried secondary most often. But it wasn't too bad to deal with them. The bow was not the move. Shit gotta go. And so my secondary was like key, or I would just be running around bowing shit, taking my time, and waiting for the tanks, aka snipers, because those were...
Yeah, snipers were deadly too. You saw that little red laser beam of death.
It was run! Dude, I loved the noises, though. The noises that they gave. Like... You don't have to just go down after getting headshot by a sniper. No, you have to know with a thunk, the noises. So
the game, I will give Payday 2 some credit for that. It had a very good way of, if you weren't looking directly at something, you knew what was coming at you if you played the game enough to recognize the noises.
The game had decent audio, I'll say that. I remember it being very good, and lately I've played a couple games that don't have good audio and sound, and I'm like, we gotta get something good. We gotta get something good. Like, I gotta know I gotta hear footsteps, I gotta hear gun types, like, I'm not that nerd enough to tell the difference between fucking, that's an M16, AK-47, other type. But like, yeah, I'm able to tell somebody's got a shotgun above the floor above me, or coming around the corner, and I need to be a little scared.
Right. What are your thoughts? So, we live in a world where we are post Mario Maker, post Sims, post Skate 3, post all of these things. And the one thing that they have that's severely in common, weirdly enough, is being able to make your own situations. I mean, that's basically all of Sims. That's pretty much what Mario Maker is. These various games where you get to make the environment. I don't think if this game has anything like that, it will have being able to make the setting. Like, I think what it'll be... Well, okay, first off, what I'm getting at is I want the ability to make custom scenarios. I want to have a little like Forge mode like Halo had, where you'll take, let's take the SCB from the trailer. Forge was legendary.
I think if you're going to talk about any custom stuff, I think you really have to nail Forge. I think that was, at the time, peak. Just absolutely peak. Every time. Like, there isn't shit I don't remember about Forge that isn't a blessing, a memory, a fucking childhood love. And I honestly would love to just have that one. I would beg for a fucking hour, one match as a kid. Sit down playing Halo Reach, like SWAT, one more time. Just give me one more match, because I loved that shit. To this day, every day I played that shit.
And Forge was untouchable. It was an amazing feature that Halo had, and I want something like it for Payday 3. I want to take like SCB, where it'll give you just the building itself, right? And it'll give you like if there's a fingerprint scanner door, that fingerprint scanner door will be there and it'll be locked there. But you can choose what you put behind it. You can create the steps. You can create where the money is and what kind of money it is, whether it's money, gold, jewelry, whatever. All this, that, and another. You can turn on or off safety deposit boxes. You can place down where guards are, create their patrol routes, stuff like that. I feel like it's very doable, and I'm going to be kind of disappointed if it's not a feature.
I will say, when it came to the quote-unquote customization you got with Payday 2, with the, you can go to the hideout and test guns, I guess, at the range.
I never used that fucking hideout.
Cash. Like, okay, it's not much to do.
Right.
And when it came to selecting missions, it was just a map that scanned, and then you would wait for fucking a mission to pop up, or you could go through the settings and select your missions, yada yada yada. But like, if I want a better feeling to like the hideout system and the missions, I would say use the hideout as your main hub, and you can
invite your friends to it.
Invite your friends, and that's where you squad up, and then you open the map, and the map is more open, and it's select this store, select this bank, and then maybe I would like to see get the crew drive, or fucking drive to the location, and then drive away, get away. Maybe not turn it feels more like more like GTA heists.
Yeah, I could see that.
What it feels like in that situation, but I would like to see something just like better with the hideout. It was very much okay. It showed it to me. Cool. Bye.
That would be very valid.
Not at all stayed.
You remember Wizard 101?
I do.
I could definitely see them having a feature where you customize your hideout, like in Wizard 101. Setting stuff down and everything, picking different buildings to start with and whatnot, making that your hub. Invite your crew around to go around in there, have a gun range still.
Upgrade your house, upgrade your hideout to a bigger building or a warehouse type shit where you can have a car or something like that. And where fucking, goddamn, like, you know how in like a lot of action movies, right as they're about to go fight the big bad, they're like, oh, hang on, let me go to my garage, or like Men in Black, where he's like, let me go to my apartment, he opens the room, and it's the fucking giant room of all the guns he owns. I would like to see, if you buy a gun, it fills up a slot on the walls
that would
until
be nice.
You have all the guns, and like you got a minigun in the fucking center of the room. That's Big Mama or whatever. You got your gold Deegs. You got the AK tripped out.
Setting up your display.
Yeah, I would like to see more of bragging rights in that game. I am not doing all this heist work for you to only be able to look at my mask and my guns. I want to show you what I have, and not just a pile of money, but I want to flex fucking cock.
Exchanging. I think exchanging should be something that is available in the game. Even though it will cause problems, it most definitely will. For diehard fans, they'll be like, oh fuck, I want this gun with these attachments, but you know, I can't seem to get it rolled, or I don't have enough money for that gun, or this, that, or another. I want hand-to-hand exchanges in the game. I want it so that if I invited you to my safe house, and while we're there, or even when we're in a mission, be like, I'm going to walk up to you while we're in the mission, and you're going to press X, and that's going to ask to swap weapons or some shit.
I would like to see with that too, like, if I'm gonna walk into this room, scan myself in, you know, just like some cool nerd shit like that. But when it comes down to it, if you have multiple people over, I feel like each room should, like, the hideout kind of collectively grows or something like that, so that way not just the main hub person has all their shit, but like maybe everyone has some shit to flex. I don't know.
I could see there being like a clan system, like, you know, Call of Duty's done for years, where you can have a clan hideout instead of just your personal.
You know what I would say? Sorry, this would go back to the base upgrading, where your first hub is only your hub. Then you upgrade it. You got 1 to 2 people, and you're in a bigger house, and then bam, you get like a tricked out warehouse. Boom, that's all 4 people that you can share with, and that is your quote unquote crew. Mm-hmm. And that is the crew house, but everyone still has their
personal.
Own. Sure, everyone's money is still their own, but it is a flex shit as a squad.
Yep. And that would make for some really good fucking video intros, too, for anybody making content.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Have 4 people standing out in front of a fucking mountain of cash, and behind them is their entire warehouse, and it's all maxed out. That's gonna get clicks. That's clicks right there. The first person that does that video, you better give me some royalties, okay? Because I said it first, here and now, y'all.
You mentioned something that kind of piqued my interest. You talked about driving to the missions and whatnot. I think one thing that would be really cool is having vehicles to purchase and customize.
Yep.
I mean, I know we're kind of dwelling dangerously towards, like, talking about it like it's going to be another GTA, but it would be interesting, especially to be like, all right, I bought an M1 Abrams, and I'm going to drive this to the mission, and we're not going to be able to stealth it.
You know what I didn't like about GTA? Because GTA makes it seem like this is a game where you can go rob shit and do heists and whatnot, and not really. Not really. You just walk around the street, meet people up, and then you do your main missions, and then afterwards you can, like, sure, you can buy your cars and shit like that, but I feel like unless you're playing consistently with people, and again, that's with any game, I don't feel like, I don't know, as a game, that's not what I think of when I think of GTA. I think of Saints Row fits that more realistically, because it's more of a goofy story type of game, so you're not, like, sure, you can do the same thing, petty robs and whatnot, rob cars, whatever, but, I don't know, GTA sounds like, I'm sure I should do more. I don't know.
It sounds like you're saying, so basically, GTA is a game where you can do all this stuff, and you can also rob banks and stores, but the Payday version of it would be you rob banks and stores, but you can also do this other stuff.
Yes. Yeah, where GTA has the massive amounts of customizability, which is very great in that game, I'll say. That's why it's very good. That's where it kind of gets me in some aspects. I'm like, okay, customizability in that game's peak. So, yeah, I think any game with just big amounts of customizability is just very good. But if you're also able to back it up with fun side content that you can consistently do, and it also is main story or whatever, if you want to do it like that, then yeah, it's very good. So I feel like where Payday 2 lacked in, Payday 2 would be a little bit more talked about if it just had more customizability. Let alone like the missions or how they're played out or anything like that, just character customizability with guns, masks, and even possibility of suits. Like, they had like some, but not that I remember many of them.
I remember it with Payday 2, there were times where I would pick what character I was playing as, not because I liked their commentary or the character or anything like that, solely for whatever they wore on their body, because I wanted that different look.
I felt that. I still can't remember what my character looked like. I only remember the mask, dude. And that shows you how little I cared about some of the characters. That's why I don't even, like, know their names. And, like, right. Of course I know Dallas and Tex.
Tex?
I think there's like a DLC character named Tex. Is there not?
I don't know.
I could.
I only had.
I could be wrong,
DLC.
and I'm now just bullshitting.
Oh fuck.
Feel like there would be though.
It would make sense.
Makes sense name.
Oh fuck! I had something. I really can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, I think there should be a black market program, like accessible through the computer in your hideout or whatever, where you can then go on there, and they'll be pretty expensive, but it's better than just having to wait to roll them, because I don't think they're going to drop the roll program. It regulates things heavily.
No, absolutely. If you have access to everything in a game at the very beginning, some people can a lot, and I've seen this a lot, where if you have access to something very OP early, or like just like something that automates something for you, people tend to be like, "Oh, this game's dumb." Where it's like, well, yeah, you're choosing to do it in the easiest way possible. Of course, you might think it's a little easy. You got the And some people, of course, find joy in using the best things and whatnot, and I'm not going to shame you or whatever. But I will say that, like, yes, it's fun to bring a minigun and an RPG to a bank heist. That's funny. You do that a couple times. But, like, if you're that guy to run it through the whole thing, sure, that's your joy. Whatever. But, nah, if there's good customizability, I like using different shit. I can't remember a good game that had a good gun attachment system that I enjoyed recently. And I'm just probably blanking on something, but like I really have not played something with like good attachments and customizability.
I think with this black market system that I'm pitching, it should be a mix of not only like everything is super expensive in order to buy, like in terms of attachments, weapons, extra customizing things, etc., but some of them will have other options where it'll be like, hey, rob this place for me and give me the money that you get from it, and I'll give you this in exchange. Shit like that. Just some variety.
Do this job for me. Get rid of Vinny the Rat, and in return, I'll give you this nice-ass suppressor. But I need a suppressor to do the job quietly. That'll be the issue after the fact. But until then, get Vinny the Rat.
Yeah, they've kind of shown it already with the trailer. I'm hoping the world is a lot more fleshed out. You know, everywhere you go, it just felt like you had generic people chilling around. There wasn't really... Even in the people that were giving you missions and the commentary that was going on in the background, it just felt like you were a spawn of Satan that was put in to do destruction.
I'll say this. When you say generic people, I can definitely attest to that when it comes to, like, doing a stealth heist and it's like, alright, find the manager of this 3-floor bank, wide as fuck, deep as fuck, and you're telling me to look for a bald guy in a suit. Guess what? Every NPC that's male looks like they're above the age of 40 and have some fucking hair issues. They're all the goddamn manager!
I hope there is a bit more to do with casing mode as well. I think casing mode should be used not just at the beginning of the mission, but before the mission. There should be heists where you go in casing mode, no kit, nothing, and you go in and you... Kind of like the first heist in the GTA story mode where you go in, you take pictures, you talk to people, all this shit.
Like, you have a free moment to walk around, because if you start the game and you're new, you're not allowed to kind of sneak around. Your first time playing a mission, you gotta go loud, because you're not gonna stealth it. You don't have the kit, you don't have the abilities, you don't have the stats, you have to go loud. And in turn, some people who start games on harder difficulties might find this frivolous, because I'll tell you, if I had to start the game level 1 and I was like, I'm gonna pick Nightmare mode, I would never touch that shit again.
Right.
I would fucking hate my life. So, like, I don't know, the idea of being able to walk in through the jewelry store so I can see where the actual fucking door I'm supposed to go to is. Because a lot of the times, it would just be casing, I'm looking, okay, I didn't find it in time, mask on.
No, I definitely get that. I always found it funny how when you were just, like, in no armor or anything, supposed to be the perfect suit, you know, perfect stealth thing, when you were in your casing mode, they would just get suspicious of you. It's like, dude, I look like 40 other people here and I'm wearing gloves. Maybe I don't want to get sick. Like,
right.
There's no need for you to get all pissy with me about walking into this bank.
See, but here's the thing, though, right? Like, depending on what guns you bring in, I can debate on that. But sometimes, like, I would bring in the smallest shit, max stealth, and it would still be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Who are you?
Identify yourself!
Could you imagine if that's how it was in real life? I walk into my bank to go cash it, or to go deposit a check or something, and they're like, hands! Hands! Let me see your hands!
That's what's...
Oh, fuck. Oh, I was gonna say, support crew. So in Payday 2, there's a number of times, I mean, in every mission, you escape somehow, right? Sometimes most of the time it's by vehicle. There are times you escape by helicopter.
Which is cool.
Yep, there are times you escape by boat. I think there was one mission where you escaped underground or some shit, I don't remember. I think that was Hitman. I'm thinking of Hitman. Anyway, I think it would be cool to have an NPC, you know, different NPCs for your escape crew, having one for land, one for air, and one for sea. And being able to, kind of like an upgrade system like you were talking about earlier, spend money to hire better people, and have to do that each mission, have them be contractors. So each mission you choose how much to spend on your escape person, and that will depend on if there is that escape sequence. You remember the secondary sequence after you finish the heist?
I remember sometimes you would get away, but then you would be like you would be in the middle of a fucking park.
Yep,
and you would have to,
the park,
it was
street.
Hold there until I get into position, and it was just chaos from
8
all
minutes
sides.
or some shit.
It was ridiculous.
It's
Snipers,
cool.
It's dope.
I want it to be controllable.
It's so cool, and yeah, See, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure you could lose money too when shit like that happens. So yeah.
The last time Trevor and I played, we did, because I got captured and he freaked out, and instead of going back to capture like 6 more bags of diamonds that we had, he just dipped. I was like, "What are you doing?"
I felt that.
What are you doing?
I feel that.
I'm such a whore in these games.
I'm never that guy.
No.
Because you gotta understand, since we put so much fucking effort, because so many times we'd restart, so many times, like one thing to go wrong, restart. Like it would sometimes would be restart, and it's like, the fuck are you doing? I have a pager. Like, it's bad. So
I'm the one to see it through.
No, dude, this guy I played with had to do stealth every time, pretty much, for so many things, because it was for the secret ending or some shit. I don't remember, but it was just some way, and. That's why I get all the money, I do my part, and I'm done.
I have always, 100% of the time, if there was a way to just like fucking otherworldly go back in time and view every time I've played this game, ever since I started with Skylar back in fucking high school, always get everything that I can.
Get all the money.
All the money. I don't care, because that doesn't give you enough.
It never.
If you just get the minimum, it's not enough to survive.
It is not enough to thrive, and by God, you know that if you have the crew that commits to the loud anyway, hostage fees, civilians.
Oh, it sounds like you just played with mid as fuck people.
Dude.
I so rarely got captured.
So, and then we would get it to the point where all 4 of us, alright, you have 2 guards to kill. You must kill them in a timely manner to where you can answer both their pagers. If you cannot figure that the fuck out, out, then you need to figure out, you need to take a music class and get some music theory in you, some rhythm, anything. Because by God, this game is about rhythm. And if you can't get it down, then you're part of the problem.
You ain't got no rhythm.
I'm telling you, if you can't pay attention to the fucking where the guards are, where your body bags are, where the guards are walking, and then if shit does have to go loud, because some missions do require you to go loud.
The meth lab one.
Yeah. You just gotta know where to stand, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be the meth maker in Payday 2. So
Gotta... In Payday 2, you do indeed make meth at one point. Just for any FBI officer listening, I know you're a big fan, but just don't bust in my door, please. It's already a little broken.
Thank you. So, I would be, we would have the one guy that knows where all the spawn or like the two guys that know where all the spawn locations are so they could get all the ingredients, and then they would bring it to me. We would use mods a little bit, so that way we wouldn't have to wait 3 minutes for this guy to tell you what the next ingredient is, because if you really want to farm money, meth labs is the way to go.
Yeah.
That is the number one.
It's a huge payout if you do it
go.
right, and I've never been able to do it right because whoever I have making it just never does it right. They always fuck it up and it blows up.
He tells you the ingredients.
I know, but keep in mind, I played with I never got to play with more than 2 people. It was always me and one other person. I've never played in a group of 3 or 4. So that one person, while I'm defending, they also have to defend. So then they would panic and put the wrong thing in.
Dude, yeah, second floor was easy to defend, because I also like taking the sniper. That was the other thing.
Never did. Could not do it.
I was the marksman, because...
You always have been! I met you in high school, and one of the first conversations we had about Black Ops 2, you were like, yeah, I'm a sniper, man. Just like everybody else who played that goddamn game. You were the reason I never had any fun on Black Ops 2, goddammit.
Sniper, shotgun, SMG.
Yeah, you suck. Just say it. Just say that you suck at the game. Say it. I want to hear it from your dirty little lips.
I was a valid little monster.
Fuck
and
you.
To this day, I'm spicy. I'm spicy with the accuracy, baby. Sheesh.
I be playing Mass Effect and I realize how bad my accuracy is. I'm like, dude, this is a third-person shooter and I'm missing. Hold on. Pause.
I think the only third-person shooter I ever played was Gears of War. But with Payday, my God, that if you just do your job, learn it, get good at it, but like, it's always frustrating messing up meth labs the most, because I'll be honest, playing it with mods was kind of nice because we didn't make anything easier. The only thing we ever did was it would tell us the next ingredient right away. So we would still have to wait that ridiculous like 5-10 minute period where he's like, alright, get all the cash and get out if you want, or decide to stay. So we would still have to wait for the ingredients to spawn.
Right.
So we would still spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, and get like
3 or 4 rotations done.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the scripting in that game is a little rough, but it makes sense when you look at it from just a general player perspective. The people who are just playing it normally, they're not going to notice. They're like, damn, this took a long time, but I mean, it makes sense. I was just fighting shit the whole time.
Yeah, sometimes, the drills, dude. Oh my God.
I was the drill guy. I played as a tank,
I'm so
100%. I was a juggernaut. But I always, 100% of the time, would get the upgrades in engineering to where there's a chance, a good chance, it would automatically restart if it broke. If I put it down or if I repaired it, it cut time off every single time. I was the drill guy. If somebody else repaired it, I got pissed. I was like, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Because
you don't have these upgrades. Fuck off.
Get the bonus, bro. You have the drill guy. Like, as the guy that... My main job was... I was the intro guy. I would be the guy that goes in stealth, figures out where shit is, and get the initial kills without starting anything. And then everyone else would come in and either start loud or do their job. Whatever what we did. But when shit got loud, my job was looking for the big guys, because I would just go, okay, shoot the head off of a little guy, and then get massive extra damage on the big guy and knock him out in 1 or 2 shots. That was my purpose. And look out for snipers. You basically, once you figure out your stealth guy, you have to be this. Once you do stealth, you have to be the guy that can take out the elite guys. If you can't take out the elite targets, the fucking stealth dude, the snipers, the big armored guys, if you can't figure out how to take them all out, you're not doing your job right. And that's what I had to do. But I loved my big engineer. Drill would always be so nice, like having the drill guy for the bank heist and like shit where you actually needed it. Best guy on team.
I also always had the OVE 9000, the SAW, 100%. There's no reason not to. If you have more than one person, you have to have it. It makes the safety deposit boxes, gates, all that shit
like,
gone.
Like everybody else has enough. Like,
right.
Like at that point, we're carrying extra shit, and at the fourth guy is carrying ammo for the extended missions. That is the crew. That is how it works, and that is that is the way I found efficiency. And the drill guy would be great. He would never go down because he would always stay by the drill and have either nobody funnel to him because everyone else would do their job right, or rarely would happen. But when the drill guy did get any NPCs towards his way, they'd either already be weak, he'd have some fucking giant gun ready to mow everyone down, and he's already got ammo bags and turrets set up for him. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. That's our job. We move with nobody else. Everyone stands there.
Menacingly!
And they do. I don't want to turn. If you're telling me I'm one of the SWAT guys and they're like, alright, you gotta turn this corner here, and I know it's the guy with the drill powers, I'm going, nah. Who's got the better armor?
Yeah.
Like, there's a shotgun blast coming my way with explosive rounds, or like a minigun or some awful LMG ready to mow me down, and I'm not having a good time.
Oh, fuck. Alright, well, all in all, we have concluded that Payday 2 is a shit game. And we love it for being so horrible, but it's so good in its own right. And Payday 3, we've laid out some expectations, some high hopes. We're very, very interested to see what it's going to be like. I know I'm going to get it whenever it comes. I think it comes out in September, if I remember correctly. September or October. No, Spider-Man 2 comes out October 20th. And then I think Payday 3 comes out in September.
Let me take a quick Bing search.
Ultimately, it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game that I'm...
September 21st. So.
I knew it! I was right! It was September. They're just one day shy of being exactly a month apart, those two games. It's a game that I'm going to be spending money on regardless, as well as Spider-Man 2. So I don't think I'm going to do playthroughs of them by any means on the channel, but there'll probably be some related content of some sort. Their channel is going through a bit of a kind of a revamp at the moment. All the old content's still going to be up there, so if anybody has old content they like watching, like recently, the other day I got on my analytics, in 48 hours both my Spider-Man speedruns got a view. I was like, one guy just got really bored one day, I guess. I don't know. But
I haven't looked at any of my analytics lately, but I also haven't put out anything too recently. I think the very few things I've put out were like probably a week ago at this point now. So
on a really busy personal day, the least amount of times I'll check my analytics is like 6. It's way more on days like today where I've had nothing to do. Every half hour while playing Mass Effect today, I've gotten on analytics, just refreshed it, looked. I'm not discouraged. I don't know what it is. I love to see the numbers change, I guess.
My numbers are fantastic for me. Every time I see them, I'm always excited. I don't know what it is. When streaming, and even though streaming wasn't, like, I was actually somewhat decent. I was like, 51 viewers is top 1% of Twitch streamers, and that shows how hard it is to be a Twitch streamer. But I remember, like, sometimes, like, especially at Wizard 101 streams, those are like...
That was a different time, ladies and gentlemen.
Those aren't triple digits by any means, but, like, look, those double digits are crazy for me. You gotta
play it again. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I definitely would.
Oh my god, no.
We put in so many hours. We put in 16 hours the one day.
I fell asleep playing that game.
I did too!
Mid-combat.
Oh, I want to go back and look back at myself knocked the fuck out in your seat.
There is the clip of me knocked out of my chair still, like, up there somewhere, so enjoy that if you will. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be leaving Red Mog's link in the description. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying What FM, with the first episode that came out on the 28th, I believe. It was about Spider-Man 2. If you haven't watched that, I'm joined by my co-star Ventus. His link is in that description, so definitely make sure to show any and all love to all the guys. These podcasts might not gain too horribly much traction just because I am a smaller channel doing long-form content.
You're a big-ass channel in my heart.
But I want to bring all the boys along with me. I've been on that constant grind. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't look at my content or I don't do something related to my content.
And I can't describe it enough, though. Living with him, he would work these long-ass days at his job, come home, sit down, grab his notebook, and start writing out ideas of what he was going to do, when he was going to. He made himself a time frame. He put in the grind of come home, get changed, sit down, write what he's going to do, record, edit, post, sleep, repeat. It was a grind, and to see him grow is fantastic. It makes me excited for him every day.
I appreciate that. You were literally the first person in my corner doing this because Kane found out about me doing content again shortly after I'd started, and you were there when I was just talking about doing it. So
absolutely,
it is really nice getting you in here on the show. What do you think of the name? What FM?
I like it. What's the FM? I'm sorry.
Just a general, how radio has AM and FM. I was playing around because I wanted it to be something with What Incorporated.
I'm a new Jenner, I guess. I don't understand fax machines and radios.
If you remember, Kane and I used to do the Smidwinders radio on the channel we had in high school. So I wanted something similar where I could allude to a name and, make it roll off the tongue. So I was just fucking around with a couple of things. I was like, What Incorporated Radio, What Inc. Service, different things I tried, and What FM came out, and I was like, you know what?
I like it.
I couldn't even tell you what FM stands for, but it works.
I like it, and neither could I. I'm going to be honest here, but we're going with it.
Maybe one day, if I get bigger, I'll start a solo podcast thing where I'll do Anon AM or some shit. I don't know, but, we'll figure that out when that time comes. So,
crazy.
You want to do the outro with me?
I don't remember it.
Oh!
I'm going to be honest. I'm drawing a blank right now.
I got you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification bell so you know every time I decide to upload to go live. Go into the description and click on Red Mog's channel link. Even if you never watch anything this man puts out there, he is a real homie. He is a day one, so please just show him some of the love that you guys have been showing me lately. I do have more on Ordinary and Spider-Man 2 content coming and everything, so just hold your horses. It will come, I promise you. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Anon out. Moogle out.
Kupo, love y'all.
Aces.